1, 2, 3. I've been running from the pain, trying not to feel the same, but it's a shame that we miss again. See, my confidence is shaking and my heart is feeling vacant, so you try to fill it in. You said I could fix the broken in your heart, you would save it.
Water is everywhere, which is fortunate for all of humanity, as water is essential for life. Even though water is not always available in the needed quantity and quality for all the people everywhere, people have learned to get and use water for all of their water needs, from drinking, cleaning, irrigating crops, producing electricity, and for just having fun. However, a closer inspection of our water resources today gives us a terrible shock. Water is now infested with various waste ranging from floating plastic bags to chemical waste, converting our water bodies into a pool of poison. Pollution of water usually occurs when substances discharged negatively modify the water. This discharge of pollutants can be direct as well as indirect. Water pollution is an appalling problem, powerful enough to lead the world on a path of destruction. Water is a natural solvent, enabling most pollutants to dissolve in it easily and contaminate it. The effect of water pollution is directly suffered by the organism and vegetation that survive in water, including amphibians. On a human level, several people die each day due to the consumption of polluted and infected water. As per The Economist report, each day over 1,000 children die for diarrhea, sickness, and numbers have been alarming in the last 5 years. Water is polluted by both natural as well as human-made activities. Volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, tsunamis are known to alter water and contaminate it, also affecting the ecosystem that exists underwater. Groundwater is one of our least visible but most critical natural resources. With rainfall, it becomes groundwater as it seeps deep into the earth, filling up cracks, crevices, and porous spaces of an aquifer, which is an underground storehouse of water. Groundwater is then pumped to the earth's surface for drinking water. Groundwater gets polluted when contaminants such as fertilizers, pesticides, and waste leaching from landfills and septic systems, making their way into an aquifer. Once polluted, an aquifer becomes unsafe for humans and remains unusable for decades or even thousands of years. Besides, groundwater can also spread contamination far from the original polluting source when it seeps into streams, lakes, and oceans. Surface water covers about 70% of our Earth, filling our oceans, lakes, rivers, and including all blue bits on the world map. Surface water from freshwater sources other than the sea accounts for more than 60% of water delivered to our homes. As per the Environmental Protection Agency of the US, nearly 50% of our rivers and streams and over one-third of our lakes are polluted and unfit for swimming, fishing, and drinking. Nutrient pollution that includes nitrates and phosphates, which plants and animals need to grow, causes major pollution in freshwater sources due to farm waste and fertilizer runoff. Municipal and industrial waste discharges and also individuals dumping directly into waterways contribute their fair share to toxins. 80% of ocean pollution or marine pollution originates on land along the coast or far inland. Streams and rivers carry contaminants such as chemicals, nutrients, and heavy metals that are carried from farms, factories, and cities into our bays and estuaries, and from there they reach the ocean. Marine debris, particularly plastics, is blown away by the wind or washed away in storm via drains and sewers. Our seas sometimes get polluted by big and small oil spills and leaks and are also soaking up carbon pollution from the air. The ocean absorbs a quarter of human-made carbon emissions. Sewage is another name for wastewater from domestic and industrial processes. Despite strict regulatory control, the Environment Agency data shows that the water and sewage industry accounted for almost a quarter of the serious water incidents. The agriculture industry covers 76% of the land area of England and Wales. Agricultural processes such as uncontrolled spreading of slurries and manure, disposal of sheep dip, tillage, ploughing of the land, use of pesticides and fertilizers can cause water pollution. Accidental spills from milk dairies can also affect the quality of water. Every year, there are about 3,000 pollution incidents involving oils and fuels. Oil spillage affects water quality in a number of ways. Oil can make drinking water unsafe to drink. A substantial amount of oil released into oceans and seas will destroy wildlife and the ecosystem that sustain them. Oil spills also reduce oxygen supplies within the water environment. Radioactive waste is another source of water pollution. Radioactive substances are used in nuclear power plants, industrial, medical, and other scientific processes. They can be found in watches, luminous clocks, television sets, and X-ray machinery. There are also naturally occurring radioisotopes from organisms and within the environment. If not properly disposed of, radioactive waste can result in serious water pollution incidents. Lots of people dump supermarket trolleys, bicycles, garden cuttings, and electronic waste into rivers or riverbanks. This is illegal, and offenders may be charged for fly tipping if caught. River dumping not only causes water pollution, it also harms wildlife and increases the risk of flooding. The Worldwide Fund for Nature estimates that a staggering amount of waste enters into the sea every year. Part of this is due to deliberate dumping of waste into coastal waters. Other sources of waste at sea includes plastics and other materials blown or washed from land. One of the major environmental issues affecting humanity is the increasing worldwide contamination of freshwater systems as a consequence of water industrial and chemical compound materials being emptied into their pathways or runaways, majorly in a form of micropollutants. Most of the pollutants are present at low concentrations. Many of them, however, can raise significant toxicological concerns. More importantly, when such compounds are present as the constituents of composite blends. Numerous micropollutants had been identified in literatures, which are not vulnerable to current treatment, and are subsequently transported to the aquatic environment. Some of these include steroid hormones, pesticides, industrial chemicals, pharmaceuticals, and many other emerging materials. This consequently endangers both the aquatic and human life. It is therefore not surprising that the freshwater pollution is a strong public menace, which requires global concerns.